we go. Danny Belanger has the enviable position of being the game director on Watch Dogs 2, but he has to overlook studios, we were telling me, Bucharest, Toronto, Newcastle,
Paris. We also work with China, so a lot of studios working together, and Montreal, obviously.
And Montreal, which is the sort of headquarters of DedSec, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yes. Okay. Well, Watch Dogs 2 obviously is building on all of the work that you did with the first Watch Dogs game, which was a big monetary success. Didn't get all the critical praise that maybe you guys were all shooting for, but it gave you something, I think, to really build off of, didn't it?
Absolutely. When you build a new IP, it was a new generation of consoles, you know, an open world game, modern, so there's a lot of challenges. So we're really happy with what we did, but building a second one allows us to do so much more. So deeper hacking, more options, a whole new story, a whole new setting. So we really wanted to change the tone and the savor, the way the game feels for the sequel, so it feels really fresh.
How soon into the development of Watch Dogs 2 did you guys make the decision to kind of go with a totally different character?
Well, we wanted, like I said, a really different tone to the game. So having a new character allows us to tell a different story. So Marcus Holloway is part of a hacker group. He's part of DedSec. It allows us to talk about all the themes of technology. You're in San Francisco, Silicon Valley, so all of these bring something really different. The first one was a lone wolf vengeance story. Now is like more, you know, I guess, hacktivists trying to do right and by exposing crimes in tech companies. So, you know, it's a really different flavor.
You guys had these crazy targets on your backs with the first Watch Dogs because Grand Theft Auto 5 was coming, this big freight train of a huge open world thing, which Rockstar has been able to iterate on many, many times. But this time you've put new targets on, even though you've made your game a much bigger game. You set it in San Francisco, the tech capital of the world. So there's going to be a lot of scrutiny, but it must have been an important creative decision to set everything here, right?
I mean, for us, it's opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, we looked at a lot of cities, to be honest, but this one felt so right. You know, the landscape is awesome, the culture, the counterculture, the birth of modern technology, being a hacker. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to pick a city after this one because it feels so great to us. And the colors, you know, Watch Dogs 1 was a bit rainy, you know, it had that kind of dark mood. This one is very sunny, so you know, that's also a shift. And when you play, you feel that it's different, and that's really important.
I gotta tell you, man, the city is absolutely beautifully rendered in this game. I've been tooling around and it's just been blown away. I mean, we're doing this interview in San Francisco, so it's surreal to walk down these streets and then come in and play these streets. And are you getting that reaction a lot? You've got a bunch of UB employees here that are playing the game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When we announced here, they were super excited, but they play and they're like, hey, I live there. Yeah. So they recognize a lot of the spots. So we really wanted to get the flavor, hit the landmarks, so people who are from here will recognize, you know, the place. And you know, it has to feel authentic. And actually, like, all the audio of the civilians were recorded here. So there's no actors from anywhere else. Like, everyone talking in the street is from San Francisco.
Take us into the story a little bit. I don't want you to spoil too much, but where does Marcus Holloway take us? What kind of wild ride are we going to be on?
Well, Marcus Holloway, I'm not going to spoil too much, but he enters a group called DedSec, and what they're doing is they're finding suspicious things in tech companies, and every time they find something, they're digging deeper in it, and they're called operations. So a bit like hacker groups do, they get together, they set up an operation, and they're trying to find what's really going on. And what's cool about Watch Dogs is often we do a story about tech and it really happens. So we look at something, we ask ourselves, okay, what can happen with this tech? And obviously it's a work of fiction, but then sometimes it's like, oh, this actually happens, you know? So it's really cool, but it's really based on technology and looking at, you know, putting a light on risks associated with social media, robotics, search engines. You know, if these things become biased, it can be a real danger for people. So we're looking into that and creating interesting stories about it.
Awesome. What I find interesting about this is it's a counterculture tale, and it's about sort of challenging these giant known huge corporate entities. Ubisoft is a huge corporate entity, and it's, you know, headquartered here in North America, right near the Googles and the Apples and all that stuff. Was there sensitivity, or did you guys have complete freedom to take this as sort of counterculture as you wanted to go, as out there as you wanted to go?
It's funny you ask. I mean, everyone here wanted us to talk about, about Ubisoft, and can't spoil it, but we are going to talk about Ubisoft as well in San Francisco in the game.
No way. That's crazy. Okay, so you are touching on sort of faint, sort of familiar kinds of connections with companies that we might be familiar with, some Googles and some Apples and stuff, some parodies of those, but you're also going to throw in the Ubisoft game studio into this too?
Yeah, there's something about Ubisoft, and like all our companies are fiction, but they're all based on real companies.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to do something with Ubisoft in there. There's something about gaming and, you know, journalism and how it works, and, you know, and all that.
Gotcha. I'm caught up on Mr. Robot. I noticed a little Watch Dogs being played on Mr. Robot the other day. Is you know, the fact that Mr. Robot has become this big cultural sensation, is that jet fuel for you guys? Does that sort of empower you to kind of stay in this hacktivist kind of sphere?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we talked about hacking in the first game. They come out. I think people care about this, you know, tech and what's going on in the world, and, you know, they want to know how it works, and, you know, in the background, all these things. And I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that, you know, they're talking about it and we're talking about it, and I think more will come out because it's a thing. It's our lives, you know, technology. It's changing the way we live. It's changing our pastimes. It's, you know, all the things we used to do were not the same things 10 years ago. So I think it's normal that we talk about it.
Damn right. And that is why you, my friend, are going to hijack me a 2.0 pre-order shipment before some do-gooder white hat tells home how to cock-block us.
What can we do now in Watch Dogs 2 that we couldn't do in the first game?
Well, everything that's connected can be hacked. So people, cars, the infrastructure, we're bringing gadgets, but the most important difference is every ingredient has multiple options. So that allows the players to be very, very creative. In Watch Dogs 1, you had one option, but now you can do, you know, anything. On a person, you can make his cell phone ring, fake their profile, and then put in an arrest warrant, call the cops, create chaos. So we want the player to be able to play with the systems like as a toy. So hacking everything was really important. We also have remote control ingredients in the city, cranes, so it brings different perspectives, your gadgets, the quadcopter, the RC, mass hacks. I don't know if you tried that, but, you know, hacking all the cars at the same time, or communication systems. So we want to create really big effects, and that was really cool from the first one to the second one to be able to really push that really, really far.
And in terms of story telling kind of options and things that Marcus Holloway can do, like obviously he's run and gun, he can hack, he can, you know, drive these vehicles and stuff. What are some of the other kinds of activities we might be seeing in the game?
And in the open world, it's really free to be explored. So there's a lot of things you can find. So most of the rewards are found in the open world. So if you want money, if you want a hacking progression, you can explore the world. We call them red zones, so it's protected areas with bad guys and security guards and all that. But there's also activities like racing, like motocross, drone racing. Where you have a phone, you can do taxi like missions, like ride-sharing applications with story. You can take pictures of yourself and landmarks. So we want to, you know, fill the world with stuff to do. We also have shops customized yourself now. That's really, really pushed further, so every player is unique. And I mean, buying cars. So basically, the world is just filled with stuff.
What do you think Watch Dogs 2 is going to be remembered for? You know, throw this a year or two down the road. What are people going to be talking about with Watch Dogs 2?
I hope they really talk about the freedom of the game. So one of our core values is letting you play the way you want. You know, so if you approach a layout, for us it's a problem that you can solve in the way you want. Lethal, non-lethal, action, stealth, as a hacker. Like a lot of layouts, you don't even have to go in. You can just play with your toys. So your expression in our game is really, you know, we want you to feel free to play the game exactly the way you want, and not say, oh, a designer wants you to play this way. No, it's not. It's your game. Express yourself and have fun with it.
Who the hell is spreading this depressing crap?
Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.